Hello creeps! Anne here, and today I have my fall horror book recommendations video for you guys. There's actually a little bit more than just horror in here. Actually, I think it's just horror and thriller. But anyways, these are my recommendations to read this fall. I have selected a wide variety of books, so hopefully everybody can find something. You know, obviously all of these books aren't going to be for everyone, but you know, I'm doing my best here, okay? Anyways, let's just get started. These are in no particular order, and if you watch all of my other videos, you will have seen these books because these are all books that I read this year, and I just have selected the ones that I think are perfect for the fall season for one reason or another. Oh, I just remembered another one. One second. Let's just start with this one. I actually recommended this one last year. This is Dark Harvest by Norman Patridge, but hear me out. The reason why I have to recommend this again is because this movie was supposed to be released last year, and it's finally coming out. October 13th, I believe it will be on some streaming service. So now is the time to pick this bad boy up, read it before the movie comes out. I'll do a movie versus book if you guys want. But anyways, this is just about it's like an urban legend in this town called the October Boy. And he's a cute little guy with a little pumpkin head, and the whole town has to chase after him and kill him before midnight or something horrible happens. It's such a fun urban legendy tale, and I just really haven't ever read anything like it. There's a lot of really great quotes in here. So I'm going to give this one a reread before I watch the movie. The movie's actually rated R, which I was super surprised about. I did not think that it was going to be rated R. I thought it was going to be like a cutesy PG-13 movie, and apparently that's not the way they went with it. So I'm kind of excited. No, I'm really excited. So yeah, that's the first one I recommend. I also have recommendations from last year and the year before, and those are more like that one, more like Halloween-based books. So I'll leave those videos in the description. If you guys want even more recommendations, I suggest checking those videos out. I just don't want to recommend the same books over and over again, but a lot of those are fantastic. Yeah, I'm just gonna go through, like I said, no particular order. The first one that I read this year was Salem's Law by Stephen King, and I mean, this book is just perfect for fall. It's a vampire book. It's not too gory, too bloody, but the character development and the description of the town is just, it's awesome. It's such a well-crafted work of fiction. You know, obviously it's a little bit more challenging reading a book like this. I think it was published in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 75. So it's a little bit hard to read a book like this and get creeped out, I feel like, in 2023, especially because the vampire market is oversaturated. But I'm sure when this book came out, it was pretty unique, but still I think worth a read, still fun, still a few creepy scenes that I mean, it's vampires, it's perfect for Halloween. So if you haven't read Salem's Law, I highly suggest picking it up this October. This next one is a thriller book, and this one won't be for everyone. But I mean, none of these will be for everyone. But this is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I randomly picked this up, and I'm so glad that I did. I had such a blast with this one, and it's one of those that I really enjoyed while I was reading it, and then I think about it quite often, and I feel like that's when you know that a book is good, you know, is you keep thinking about it after the fact. So it's about this wedding that's taken place on this kind of remote island. Actually, no, not kind of. It literally says on a remote Irish island. So yes, on a remote island. There is a murder that takes place, and you try to figure out, I don't know, you do, I guess, try to figure out who done it, but it's just, the setup of the book is so great. It's a slow burn. So if you just want like a cozy, slow thriller for like a rainy day, I feel like this book is perfect for that. I feel like it's a slow burn, but the ending pays off really well. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was a blast. I really like the way, like I said, that Lucy Foley set up the characters. You get a lot of character development in there. So if you really like reading and learning about characters, I think you'll enjoy this. And if you like a little bit of mystery, I think you'll enjoy this. It's not a super fast-paced whodunit, you know, people getting knocked off one by one. It's just one thing goes wrong, and then everyone's kind of left to see what's going to happen next. But I had a blast with that, so I wanted to recommend it for the people that are looking for some fun slow burn thrillers out there. The next one I talked about in my last video, this is Ronald Malfi's Come With Me. This book is fantastic, and I will never stop recommending Ronald Malfi's books ever. This one is about a man, his wife gets unfortunately killed, and he comes to find things in her possession that are about women who've been murdered in various states. So he goes on the hunt to try to figure out why she has this information, why she was looking into these murders, and then you find out what will come of him, you know, asking questions and poking around. It's a great book, honestly. Loved every second of it, could not put it down. But just know that it does deal heavy with like the grief and guilt and loss elements. So if you don't want to cry, this book definitely made me cry. This book did get to me, but I feel like you can also just pick it up and really enjoy the story for what it is. It's in the horror section, but I do feel like it's definitely more of a thriller than a horror book. But I don't know, maybe that's just me. But yeah, a blast. I think most people would probably really enjoy that one. The next one I've got to recommend is Carmilla. This is by Joseph Sheridan LaFanu, and this is again another vampire story. In fact, the third vampire story ever written in like a novel form. They show up in poems prior to these as a novel. It's the third vampire story ever written. It really blew me away. I loved it. It's so atmospheric. This guy was published in 1872, so I did not think that a book this old would creep me out in any way, but it really did. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. There's some blood and some vampires, and it's about a girl who lives in a castle. One of her friends just died. She's really lonely, and when she has the opportunity to bring in another young girl to live with her for a while, she does so, but then comes to find out that a lot of girls in town are becoming quite ill and kind of delirious with the onset of someone sneaking in their room. It's such a fun read. Highly, highly recommend this one. That one I would recommend for, you know, the people who like earlier horror books, because like I said, it was written in the 1800s. And the next one I will recommend is Maeve Fly by CJ Lead. If you have thought about picking this book up at all this year, October is the time to do it. I mean, this is when you're gonna have the most fun with it. This book is about a woman who feels unlike other people that surround her. She feels like there's this darkness inside of her. She idolizes a lot of these more like reserved characters in novels that kind of turn away from society, but then she also takes a cue from Patrick Bateman and just lets her dark side loose, and just madness ensues. But this has so much fun, like Halloween themes throughout it, that I think that you'll really enjoy it this time of year. I would say that I don't know, I'm really surprised that so many people love this book, not because I didn't, because I do love it, but because I feel like her writing style is very specific to her, and it does remind me of like a Bret Easton Ellis writing style, or almost like a Chuck Palahniuk. Like, she's somewhere in the middle of their writing styles, and those are obviously very polarizing literary figures. And so I am surprised that this book has been so popular. I'm happy about it. I'm super thrilled that people are loving it and enjoying it. But anyways, people seem to be really enjoying this one. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I thought it was a blast. You just don't know where it's going. It's a wild ride. Yeah, and there's a lot of interesting components in here that you can kind of analyze and pick apart. So if you want something a little bit deeper than just a surface level read, a lot of really great one-liners in here and a lot of Halloween feel to it, especially LA Halloween, which is like 90 degrees and doesn't really feel all that Halloween-y. But yeah, it was really cool to see kind of like an LA Halloween being represented in there, because by the way, it is October and it was like 90 degrees today in LA. So, you know, we don't really get the fall weather like a lot of the other parts of the country do. The next one that I want to recommend is Suffer the Children. This is by Craig DeLuey, and I had a blast with this one too. This again is another vampire story, but with a twist. It's about this virus that kills all the children on planet Earth, but then they all come back to life. But the con is they have a thirst for blood. And so you just kind of get to see honestly what parents, like how far parents would go for their kids. And it is almost like a pre-apocalyptic book. Like, you really do just get to see the destruction of society, and it's a really interesting read. Like I said, I had a blast with this one. Vampire stuff is oversaturated and it's not always enjoyable to me, but when you find a book like this that's like pretty unique and interesting, yeah, I mean, I gotta recommend it to you. So enjoyed that one. And the last one that I'll recommend, actually I have one more after this. This is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, and this again is kind of like, it takes that haunted house story and it flips it on its head. It's about a girl who, when she was younger, she lived with her parents in this large mansion, and they left after a month because it was haunted, and she has no recollection of what happened there. She's always kind of assumed that her parents were lying about it. Her father wrote a book that ended up making them a lot of money and garnering them a lot of fame, and so she's kind of defined by this house that she doesn't even remember. Well, her father passes away and she inherits the house. Didn't even know that her father still owned it, and so she goes back to it to try to discover what actually happened. And it's just a unique, creepy, fun read. It's not anything like super scary or anything, but I think it's perfect for this time of year. And yeah, I had a lot of fun reading that one. And then the last one that I want to recommend, this is gonna seem maybe a little weird, but if you guys just want a cozy, cutesy mystery, can I show you the series that I've been loving? So if you guys watch my pumpkin spice video, you'll know that I read these like cozy mysteries, and this one was Pumpkin Spice Sacrifice. And so I went back, this was the third in the series, so I went back and bought the first two, and I just finished Cutie Pies and Deadly Lies, and I can't tell you why I love this so much, because I typically read, you know, horror, thriller, more extreme, disturbing books. I don't know why I love these. I don't know, but this is my first like cozy mystery that I was just like, this is the cutest thing ever. It's just about this cute girl who bakes in this like magical town, and all the men are super hunky and all the girls are super attractive, and it's just like this silly, unrealistic place where bad things happen to bad people and good things happen to good people. It's just a feel-good book. I don't know why I like these. I don't know, but if any of you guys enjoy cozy mysteries, even this one takes place like right before fall, but you get definitely all that like cozy fall feeling towards it too. And I'm not gonna lie, there are some things in here that are a little silly, and I think I did like Pumpkin Spice Sacrifice more than Cutie Pies and Deadly Lies, but yeah, I don't know. I just thought that I would incorporate those as well in case you guys just want like some cutesy feel-good books to read. But anyways, those are my horror book recommendations for this month. I hope you have found something to read. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you're planning on reading this month. I've got a few things that I want to get through, so I'm hoping I can get through them. But anyways, yeah, let me know what you're reading, and I will see you soon with another horror video. Bye guys!
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.